Satoru is an architect by trade who is hardworking and has an eye for detail with every project he tackles. Once his ideas are approved, he proceeds to build a physical model rather than a 3D rendering of it, helping him get as accurate an idea of the result as possible. A time-consuming practice, but one he relished from a young age. By nature he is quiet, polite, and intensely introverted, with the exception of his friends, Yoshio and Junichi, even frequenting a quiet, cozy cafe called Piano which he himself designed. Miyuki works at a small trading company, retreating and keeping to herself after the death of her husband to such a degree that she does not own a mobile phone, leaving her at a point where she is unable to play the violin anymore, bringing an end to her career as a violinist. Due to the lack of technology in her life, she enjoys walking through the city, exploring, observing rather than being distracted by a screen, leading her to find neat locations such as Piano. When introduced to each other by the owner of Piano, they connected right away. Miyuki noting the little details of the cafe others are likely to miss, and Satoru complimenting her mother's bag, highlighting a commonality between them where they are incredibly observant of what is around them. During their second interaction, they enjoy their time greatly. However, due to Miyuki not having a phone to keep in touch with, they decide to meet on Thursdays whenever they can. Following them meeting for the first time, he visits his mother in the hospital, a kindly woman who cares deeply for her son, encouraging him to be bold with Miyuki, hoping he would find happiness and a woman to build a family with. They reminisce about when they would go to the beach when his father was alive, promising her he would take her when she is feeling better. This sets up the beach as an important location to Satoru, and one he wishes to return to with his family. Meeting Miyuki for the third time, he opens up, expressing how much he owes his mother for taking on as much responsibility as she did upon his father's death, reinforcing the idea he wishes to treat his mother to a day out on the beach as a thanks. Moving their interaction to a yakitori restaurant, they run into Yoshio and Junichi, who, having already tried to give them privacy, invites them, doing as best friends do and embarrass Satoru to the best of their ability. Both of whom end up liking Miyuki after the time they spend together. While walking her to a taxi, he reveals to her his wish of taking his mother to the beach one day. Over time they learn more about their interests, and he takes her to an orchestra. However, due to her past, unbeknownst to Satoru, she is unable to endure and leaves. So rattled was she does not meet him the following week. During this time, his mother passes away, her funeral being held on Thursday. This hits him hard and his friends are there to support him, so much so, they realize it is Thursday and go to Piano in the hopes of explaining why Satoru is unable to meet Miyuki that day. When next they meet, Satoru is still distraught and Miyuki, wanting to comfort him, takes him to the beach to mourn his mother together. This functions in two ways. While it is a reminder of his happiest memories of his mother, it is also the place he promised to take her when she was better. The combination of positive and negative emotion causes him to break down, and Miyuki embraces him in the hopes of calming him and showing her sympathy. She takes him to a place from the time she was in music school as a child, revealing the moon and the trees she loved to look at, opening herself up to him more and more as they share more intimate moments such as this. Returning to the beach, they create positive moments together, building on the history that Satoru has with his family, now with Miyuki, a woman he cares deeply for, enjoying their time by flying a kite and talking to each other through plastic cups. Grown-ups playing children unburdened by the weight of adulthood, reveling in a romance that is innocent at heart. This moment solidifies the foundations of their feelings for each other, recognizing and admitting them, prompting Satoru to buy an engagement ring. Both wanting to talk, they promised to meet each other, though when the time came she did not arrive at Piano. Yet he continues to come on Thursdays, hoping she would turn up eventually. With each week that passes, that hope is diminished, and when the opportunity comes for him to move up the corporate ladder in another city, he takes it. A year passes and Yoshio, through his wife's work, discovers an album released of Miyuki's music from her time as a violinist, which leads them to finding out her name is Naomi, which in turn allows them to learn, on her way to meeting Satoru on that Thursday, she had been in an accident, leaving her with brain damage. Reaching out, he meets Miyuki's sister, Kazumi, who updates him about her current condition and, wishing to see her once more, asks to meet with Miyuki. He tries to reach out to her, however there is no response. Kazumi later returns to Piano in the hopes of seeing Satoru, letting him read all his entries in her diary, recontextualizing the interactions they had together, where his feelings were indeed reciprocated. He goes to the beach and marinates on the time he spent with her. The beach, now associated with the good and the bad that has occurred in his life. The good in the form of the time he spent with his family and Miyuki, and the bad from the grief he is enduring for them. Yet this is not wholly a negative because, even in grief, he was with Miyuki when he needed her most. As such, having seen and read what he has, the beach is a reminder of the comfort shown to him at his lowest. Going back to her family, he offers to help look after Miyuki, changing the circumstances of his job, adapting to new technologies to do so, and meeting with her, spends time at the beach regularly. It is on one such occasion when she responds to him for the first time, asking if it is a Thursday, a part of the Miyuki he knew shining through, if only for a moment, for the person she loved deeply and wanted to one day play her violin for. The beach is a place where Satoru spent time in with his family when his father was alive, storing many positive childhood memories. A source of regret for not being able to take his mother one last time as a thank you for the sacrifices she made for him growing up, yet of comfort due to Miyuki being with him after his mother's death, all while building it up with the memories of Miyuki at their happiest. As the bearer of all this, he brings Miyuki here in the hopes of passing on all those feelings to her, wishing to bring her back, even if it is briefly. Analog does a fantastic job in using the plot, character and dialogue to add immense amount of meaning into a location, and using it in a way that is pivotal to the story and themes at hand, managing to connect it all in an organic manner and elevates the standard of writing rather than taking away from it.